The following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Thursday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig, along with YSN CEO and boss man DJ Oakley. And this is winding down fall sports again. Thursday, we're getting closer and closer to the postseason. Volleyball and soccer postseason begins next week, and we have 2 weeks left of the regular season for football. And that means that regular seasons are winding down, and more big milestones, big championships are being sealed. And that's how we segue into last night's results. The biggest match of the night came on the girls' soccer side. Howland had a chance to clinch a share of the AAC championship after their win over Canfield on Monday. They had to take care of business against Boardman, and they did 2-0. They beat the Spartans. So the Howland and Canfield are going to share the AAC championship as the Tigers get the win. It's still Canfield's 12th straight, but this is one that they have to share with Howland. Canfield was also in action on the girls' soccer side as they got the 5-0 win over Marlington to end their season with 12 wins on the year. They will move on to their tournament game on Saturday, so they don't have a break like some other soccer teams. We were talking to Canfield boys soccer player Ethan Molichak yesterday, me and Richie, and they have a whole week off. They don't have to play until next Saturday. Canfield, they're getting right to it against Ravenna, so they don't have a week off on the girls' side like they do on the boys.
Yeah, going back to the shared title, there's got to be something that they can do that does away with that.
Right.
I don't like shared titles. I don't like it. I think that, it should come down to points for, goals for, goals against, whatever that may be. I don't like it.
That's a good idea. Like then you could every other big level of sports has a tiebreaker if two teams tie at the top, whether it be the conference record or the, like you said, goals against, goals for, maybe the win margin, something like that. So maybe that's something that some of these conferences can look into, but it would be a conference by conference thing. It couldn't be a universal thing like, hey, we do it, so the NE8 has to do it, so the MVAC has to do it, so the EOAC has to do it. So it would be interesting because it could be a situation where all the conferences have different things that they look for and different tiebreakers, and that would be kind of interesting situation. We'd have to dive into the book. Okay, the MVAC does this. Okay, the EOAC does this. Okay, cool. It'd be fun. I like your idea, and I don't like sharing either. I mean, it's a conference championship. What do you do? And there are still possibilities in football and some, and there were possibilities in volleyball and soccer before this week of three-way ties. What do you do with that? Share among three teams?
That's the goal. I mean, that's the problem. And people are going to say, well, if you do that, then you're going to see people run up the score. Teams run up the score because goals against, goals for, whatever it may be. I guess the difference would make the biggest impact. You know what I mean? Like the goal differential or the point differential, whatever it may be. Sharing is stupid when it comes to that. You're in competition. Like if you're going to give participation trophies, and give it to everybody.
I'm not so.
What if there's a four-way tie and there's 8 teams in the conference? That means
I've never bought
14
into the whole, they're running up, like running up the score. Like we've seen some teams do it, and then obviously people get mad because they're scoring 70 points, or in basketball they'll go up and they'll win like 85 to 3 or something like that.
But you know what I'm saying is
Yeah,
they'll say, well,
yeah,
we better win, we better score as much as we can because there might be another team that ties us
right.
for wins and losses. And I just think conferences need to dig a little deeper when it comes to that.
It kind of feels lazy to just say, hey, share it, because you both ended in the same record. It's harder to share in soccer because of the whole tie thing, and there's a point system, so it is harder to get the
Ties
exact
should be
same amount of
losses. Ties should be
what?
losses. Ties should be losses. Like if we're this cough's killing me today. If we're coming down to a championship, a tie should equal a loss because you didn't win, but you didn't lose.
Right.
And that's the argument. But you didn't win, so it shouldn't count for the win column. It should count for the losses. So if you didn't succeed, you failed. If that makes sense, and I know that's harsh, but that's what it should be. And I'm not an advocate for sharing championships. A champion is one. A champion is one. Nobody shares the World Series title. Nobody shares the Super Bowl title. They did a tie in baseball one time. They did away with it. Like it's dumb. And people are going to say, well, you got to have more winners. It's good to give everybody and it's their senior. Like, come on, like this doesn't happen in real life, people.
No.
So get these kids ready. It's varsity blank, football, volleyball, soccer, lacrosse, baseball, softball, basketball, whatever it is. It's varsity. They're expected to make big decisions, and if you lose a game or you don't win a game, I guess I put it that way, then you don't deserve to get a championship if you're tied.
Here's a reality check. If you're going for a job in real life and you're going up against somebody and they have a very similar resume than you, and you guys are quote unquote tied, that company is going to find something to differentiate you with the other person, and one person is going to get that job. They're not going to say, well, you two can just share it and both come on. Like that's not how it's going to work.
True.
And like you said, in real life, life will find a way to differentiate people. Whether it be like there's going to be one winner, whether it be a job, whether it be a sport title in college, whether it be pick anything else that you are competing for. There's not going to be a hey, you can share this because you're both pretty good and you both have very similar attributes. They're going to find some way to distinguish one person from the other and say this is the person that deserves that job, that championship.
Sure, if somebody's making $50,000 in that job, they're not going to be like, you know what, that person is he deserves to make $50,000 as well because they're the exact same. No, there's differences. There's minute differences, and that's what I'm trying to push here. But I'm the bully, right? I'm the bully because I sit here and say the OHSA should do this and these conferences should do this, but really. I'm not going to say the conferences are a money suck like the OHSAA is, but I'm like there has to be a little bit more to it. Like the kids I guess they don't mind sharing a title, but I would like a co-champion is not a champion. Right. It's like kissing your sister. Ugh.
Ugh. I don't even have one, but still, ugh. And I'm sure on Canfield side specifically, like they could say 12th consecutive AAC championship, but they never shared before, and they're probably sitting there like
they've never shared.
It doesn't feel right,
That's a fact. They've never shared.
Oh, I mean, it's not a fact for the whole 11 years, but since we started covering them, they've been the outright champions. With
I guess that's consolation prize. Not everybody's going to win a conference championship, so it doesn't mean a whole lot, I guess. It does to some people. You talk to anybody that's not in a conference, they want a conference championship. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. To me, that's just like there's got to be something more to it. And I think, that these conferences should look into it. They should at least have it in place in case it happens, because that's what a good employer or a good conference or a good whatever should do is have things, and if it happens and you don't have it in place,
Right.
then you get it in place so it doesn't happen again.
That's why I was just like, I was hoping for no three-way tie, because there were a couple of possibilities coming up
No.
in all the sports, and I was like, man, I just don't want to see three teams share a conference championship, and there has to be something to do to definitely avoid that. Two is like, okay, it's reality. Three would just be like, this is ridiculous.
So like, what if you're in a conference with 4 teams, right?
Right.
And there's a 3-way tie. Basically, you're just giving the finger to the team
Right.
that's in 4th. I mean, good luck. It's just stupid. Like, have if you're going to have a conference, you're going to put all this work together and be together and not have a champion, not 2, not 3. Have a champion. End of story.
And like you said, people can call you a bully for having that kind of thought process, but I think you are in a best situation and to kind of deal with that reality, because you're a CEO of a company. There have probably been tons of decisions at YSN that came down to 2 things that were pretty close, but you had to pick one of them, whether it be a person or a technology decision or just a decision of what path to take for YSN. And you had to find a way to say we can only have one, right? We can only have one. We can't have sharing. And you've probably had to make tons of those decisions. And you are absolutely a person that can be privy to that reality that we don't share stuff in life. So we can't just share conference championships.
Well, and it's not always the right decision.
Right.
We started out and we wanted to do, like, a perfect example. We want to do pay-per-view in playoffs because we get charged by the state. The fact is we can't do pay-per-view for sports that don't bring in money, for people that don't go to watch our games on
Right.
YSN. And volleyball has been that over the course of the last 6 years. Baseball and softball have been that over the course of the last 6 years. So we had to adapt. And what people don't understand is, well, you do it for football and you do it for basketball. Why don't you do pay-per-view for all the rest of the sports? Because sometimes you have to make hard decisions,
Right.
and it's not always going to be the right decision, but it has to be the right decision for that moment, right? You can go back and change it and adjust and do all that stuff. And that's what I'm saying about these conferences. Not everybody's going to like being second and third, but I think the first place, it puts a little bit more shine on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there's a little bit more luster to it. And I think instead of kind of bringing everybody up and saying, well, you're a champion and you're a champion and you're a champion, let's let the champions be champions and then figure out the rest of it as we go. Like, second and third is nothing to sneeze at, but at the same time, just because you tied a record, but you lost to that team outright, like, it drives me bonkers, man.
Especially like if a situation happened where you lost to that team twice, but somehow like they slipped up against a different team and you ended up tying records. That's the one where I'm like, okay, but are you really better than that team? Because you lost
but you're a
2 times
champion.
you played them.
And that's what it's not right. It's the easy way out. Everybody gets a flower, like on senior day, everybody gets a flower, but that kid didn't play. That kid's just on the team. You don't see what happens behind the scenes, but that kid's on the team. That kid gets a jersey or not, they get a flower. And that's what these conferences are adopting. And it drives me nuts.
And sadly, in life after high school, not everyone gets a flower.
What?
What? That's another way that I think it'd be another way to just better prepare kids for the future outside of the bubble of high school.
Can't do that because seniors are untouchable.
Right.
And that's the thing that sucks. Like, senior year should be everybody's favorite year because they're untouchable. And I love it. As a senior, I loved it. But the second you get away from being a senior, life hits you and smacks you in the face. And
you go right back to being a freshman in college, right?
And
like,
nobody cares about you. Yeah,
right.
Nobody cares about you from that standpoint. Or if you go out and you do a trade, you're at the bottom of the ladder. And kids don't realize that, you should really enjoy that last year because it's a cakewalk and everybody's loving you and you got graduation and graduation parties and things of that nature. But the second that ride comes to a stop, it's not like a nice, smooth, like, park. It's like you're done. Get out of the car and start walking, because you got to earn your keep again. And, I think that's what most people do when they look at, especially in the spring, because there's a last everything, last first practice, last practice, last game, last time you and I respect that. And not everybody goes to college to play sports. But at the end of the day, how are we helping these kids learn and understand a little bit more about life by catering to them just because? And these championships are just one piece of the puzzle when they say, hey, these kids are seniors, they deserve it because they've been working their asses off for the last 4 years. So is everybody else.
Right.
And there's no championship trophies or belts or whatever it is, that again, I hate to go on a tangent here,
right,
but ties and championships should never take place. Never. When's the last time they tied for a gold medal? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm sorry, it's very rare or never happens. So learn now. If you want a championship, then you've got to take your game to the next level. You don't let up as many points. You score more points. You do whatever at the varsity level. And I've said this time and time again. You've got, like, there should be. I'm an advocate for the mercy clock and but at the same time, don't take advantage of it if you're on the losing side of it.
Right.
Like, you should fight until the last whistle or the last second drips off that clock. And we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing a lot of people, people getting softer because, well, it's okay. We'll get a championship anyway. We'll get a trophy. You shouldn't.
I hate stall ball tactics in those situations where they're like, let's just do whatever we can to make this clock go as fast as possible and we can get out of here.
Run the dang ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's the end of it. And
let's huddle for 30 seconds. Let's take some delay game penalties.
And I can appreciate teams taking it easy on teams that they're beating by 40 or 50
right,
or whatever it may be. I can appreciate that. Your JVs are in. But we saw at least in my eyes, I saw a perfect example of society being soft in sports, and it was the South Range Poland game. There was a phantom call at the end of the game. Aiden Dominguez would have scored his first touchdown at the varsity level. They pulled it back. They pulled it back because there was some random look at the tape, I can't see it, holding call. And they said, well, you're up by this many, you're just rubbing it in. No, because kids have to learn. Because at some point, those kids that are JV will be playing varsity, and you're taking
that moment away,
and opportunities. What if he's the all-time touchdown leader? Or what if he would be the all-time touchdown leader if he had one more touchdown?
Right.
And you yanked it because
they were up by 34.
They're up by 34.
And it wasn't even like South Range there were bigger blowouts than that one on their schedule this year. So, I mean, it's crazy. Some other results from last night. Badgers swept JFK in volleyball 3-0. We saw Louisville get a win on senior night against Alliance 3-0. We saw Cardinal beat LeBray 3-1. Jackson, Milton, and Garfield met. That was a cross MVAC matchup. Garfield won 3-1 at Jackson Milton. Springfield won on senior night. They are a 7 seed in the upcoming tournament, so they will move on to host the 19-seeded Newton Falls Tigers on Tuesday as they get ready for tournament play. 3-0, they beat Struthers on senior night. Lakeview and Middle Ridge, a lot of people thought this was going to be a really good matchup, but Lakeview kind of put their foot down, swept the Rams, and that's a matchup that you very well could see in a district coming up because they're both in the same bracket. 4-seed Lakeview, 5-seed Middle Ridge, but Lakeview proven that there's a little bit of a gap there, at least for now. Then we saw on the soccer side, Niles not happy about losing to Poland on Monday to lose to NE8. They came into South Range, took out some frustration. They beat the Raiders 10-0. Ursuline got Mooney on the girls' side 4-0. And then we already talked about Howland beating Boardman to get a little piece of that AAC championship 2-0. On the boys' side, Mooney split the boy-girls doubleheader as they beat Ursuline 1-0 in the Holy War.
Just big all the way around, man. It was a big night on the network, and like I said, it's just to be able to click that button Go to ysnlive.com/live and to go to any game you want. I know how exciting it is for parents. I know exciting is for us. I got to check out some of those games real quickly last night and just make sure they were up and going, and big results.
We always, I think I ask you this every year because every year there's like a moment or maybe a week where you get to be like last night where you get to flip through some games, a little bit of downtime while you're making stories, doing other stuff. Do you ever kind of get reflective and think about, where you were when you started and what kind of like dream this was to be at a platform where you had so many games on the network at once and you could just go and flip through and just be like, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game. Do you even have time to be reflective at all ever?
No, not really. Because we're always trying to push next steps. I mean, I'll
Right.
be honest with you. I got text messages from some of our guys last night about some new ideas, and I'm like a fly. Whenever I'm focused, and then I get that text message, I'm out because I'm on to the next one. So, it was really interesting, some of the conversations that began YSN, and again, I put a picture out there today that because I'm a chip on the shoulder guy.
Yeah.
I was, I want to say 8 years old maybe whenever I did the thing at the Canfield Fair where Channel 27 used to do, like, you do the weather updates.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a picture that pops up every year, and 12 years ago I put it on Facebook. So I took it today and put it up there. And we didn't start this to be in competition with anybody. We started it because I think it was an outlet and it was needed. And Brian, the technical side of it always. And I love what it's turned into. We stumble and we fall, certainly a lot, and probably a lot more behind the scenes now than in front of people. But we still have our moments. We still have our moments where we mess up. But we always do it with the best interest in mind. And that's what I love most about it. You got high school kids doing soccer games. You got parents doing football games. You got, excuse me. You just got so many people that are passionate about sports and the band and on and on. And I promise you, I'm not emotional. I'm just trying to get this cough out of the way.
Right.
But yeah, like I don't have time. I wish I did. People think I sit here and just count checks, and that's not how it is. Like, honestly, we get mail and I throw it on Brian's desk. I never even see the checks or the only thing I get to see is the complaints come in. Those are rough sometimes. Got one this morning at 5 a.m. It was interesting.
Right. But we are seeing a lot. I love what makes the complaints worth it are the praises that we get, and the people that stop me at a game and thank us for what we do. Is like that makes all that other stuff kind of go away. It's kind of like,
for
okay.
you maybe, for me I still gotta live
For
with
you,
it and
well,
sort
I
it
mean,
out.
I see it like you do, but for me, it's kind of like, okay, it's it's knowing that it puts in perspective when we get the positive comments.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. There's a positive comment right there.
Right there. That just brightens the day,
Well, here's the thing. It's I learned it very quickly as an owner of a business, whether it's the mattress business that I was in or this business or even running your own softball team. The 80% are always going to be silent, and the 20% are always going to be very vocal. And the 20% are negative Nancy's and negative Neds, and they sit there and they'll try to chop down your tree because they think what you're doing is worthy of it, and it's certainly worthy of their attention. And we have people that call in to this day. We're 9 weeks in at this point for football, and they're calling in telling me that there's subscriptions that we're charging. We don't charge you for anything. Like, everything is paid for by the sponsors, the supporters, all that stuff. We don't charge you until week 11 from that standpoint. So people still they're just angry. And 2020 turned a lot of people into just angry apples of the whole thing. And I smile and I laugh, and they don't like that. I can tell you that firsthand. But I laugh because, there's people that don't have a clue what they're talking about, trying to tell me, what this is and, how they were wronged and stuff like that. And it's just like, if you're wronged, we'll take care of you. There's people that do buy those archive games on a weekly basis, daily basis. And, maybe they forgot their link or they didn't get it or they didn't see it. So, we take care of them and provide them with that link and make sure they're taken care of, and not as much as the thank you, which is fine, because if they're not complaining, that means that they're all good. So
Right.
again, in life and everything, if you're giving life lessons, Anthony, here's a perfect life lesson. It's always 80-20, always 80-20. If you're looking for everybody to be happy, it's never going to happen. The 80% will always be the silent majority from that standpoint. And if you're doing anything in life, it's always 80-20. 80% of the people are doing 20% of the work, and vice versa. 20% of people are doing 80% of the work. So that's how it goes.
Didn't know you were going to get a TED Talk on today's episode of Running Point, did you? But we got life lessons coming at you. We can do anything. We can juggle a lot of plates here on this show.
You want me to get Quinn? We'll get some life lessons from Quinn too.
We do have great athletes to hear from today. We have 4 of them that we're going to play for you guys. 2 volleyball seniors from Girard and Abby Rafferty and Ezra Dede. And then we're going to also hear from Ian McGavin, senior for Boardman Boys Soccer. And we're going to hear from Nick Novak, senior from Crestview Boys Soccer as well. So excited to share those with you. We're going to start with one, and we're going to go to Ian McGavin from Boardman Soccer. And let's hear what he had to say here on today's episode of Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Harwig here with a Boardman Soccer player profile. I am joined by senior Ian McGavin. Ian, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
What is it like being a senior and kind of going through everything you're doing for the last time you're going to do it at Boardman?
Yeah, these last 4 years, they've gone by really fast. The seniors, when I was a freshman, they've really helped me a lot. And when I was a sophomore, the seniors as well. And everything just kind of go by fast. I'm trying to take it one step at a time.
How have you kind of managed the emotions that senior year can bring and kind of the sentimentality, I guess you would say, of senior year and trying to stay focused on just playing soccer?
Obviously it's sad because it's your last year, but you obviously got to stay focused and get the job done and hopefully make it far in soccer. So
what were some personal goals you set for yourself coming into this year, your senior season, that you wanted to complete before it was over?
So some personal goals I had in mind. I wanted to win the AAC as a team. And I also wanted to make it far in the playoffs. So hopefully we can do that soon.
Yeah, you've gone through a season with a lot of tough teams on your schedule. You've managed to come through most of them unscathed. What has it been like going through this season and being tested as much as you guys have been? How much do you think it does make you guys ready for tournament time?
Yeah, we've been, obviously, as you said, tested a lot this season. And we've kept our cool. We've stayed calm. We've been in big scenarios before, so it's nothing new to us. So it's prepared us a lot for the tournament play as well. So hopefully we could get a win against Brush coming up in the playoff.
Like you said, you guys have stayed calm, cool, and collected. What have been some of the big reasons why you guys have been able to do that and stay even throughout the season?
So we have a lot of experienced players. Obviously, most of us play club all year round. Such as my teammates, I can't give them credit. They're amazing. So it's just easy to step on the field with them and have team chemistry and build a bond with them.
This year, you're asked to be a senior leader. What kind of leadership qualities do you bring to the table?
So I'm very hardworking. I get my work ethic mainly from my dad. He dedicates himself to his job and tries to support me and my family as much as he can. I'm a leader too. I possess a lot of qualities too. So I try to get my team going. When things aren't going our way and, we're losing in the game, I try to get them going and always keep a good mentality. So, yeah.
Our friends over at Steel Valley Soccer put you on the player to watch list, and you've been on it for a couple of weeks. And man, there's so much talent in this area. What's it mean to you to be on a list full of names that are really talented in the area?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, yeah, there's a lot of tough players out there, a lot of skillful players. To be on that list means a lot.
With YSN's coverage and the game coverage, and then obviously with the great things that Steel Valley Soccer is doing out there as well. What's it mean to you, not just as a soccer player at Boardman, but just a soccer fan, to continue to see the growth of the sport and to continue to see it recognized by the outside community?
Yeah, so this sport has grown a lot over the past couple years. With the U.S. men's national team qualifying for the World Cup since the first time since 2010 or 2014, it's grown a lot. Everybody wants to play soccer, get involved in it. Sports really grown in this area, especially as well. So,
When did you fall in love with the sport, and where did that come about?
so I fell in love with soccer. I started playing when I was 3 years old. My cousin Mario Nigro played soccer for Canfield, and he just got me involved in it, watching it, kicking the ball in the backyard. And then I started at BSA, which is a youth club for Boardman. And people were telling me I was pretty good at it. So I started club, and ever since then, it's been going good for me.
Since when you were little, people, coming and giving you encouragement gave you a spark. How much do you try to do that for the youth of the game now, and try to, support them when you can and get out there when you can, and help the future of Boardman soccer?
Yeah, I try to motivate my guys every time we step on the field. I try to motivate them. If things aren't going our way as well again, I try to help them and adjust some things. Yeah.
What do you think is the most important thing to learn? Like if someone is starting soccer, especially at a young age, what do you think is like the first things they have to learn fundamental wise?
First thing they have to learn, I would say fundamental wise, is their first touch, shooting ability, and pace. If you can't really have those things, you need to work on them and be able to step on the field and have those things.
Obviously, you've talked about your work ethic a lot. So what are some of the skill sets that you found the hardest to kind of master and the hardest to work on?
So the hardest things I would say that I had to work on was shooting and first touch, because those are the hardest things, in my opinion, on the field, because, the ball has so much spin on it and it's always moving. So you can't really judge it as well. You have to have good judgment. And those were the hardest things for me, but I've managed it well. I've put a lot of time and effort into this sport, and I'm still working on it now, but pretty good at it as well.
What is your favorite thing about this sport and being able to play it as much as you do?
My favorite thing about this sport is going out there with my brothers and my friends and competing at the highest level and giving it all we got out there.
You brought it up earlier. You play club all season long as well. What does that do for your game, and how important is it to you to be exposed to so many good athletes in the off season?
Yeah, that's club has done a tremendous job with my technical ability. Ever since I was 4, just practicing on my own, practicing with my club team, it's helped me a lot athletically and mentally. To be able to compete at the highest level with some of the best players, it means a lot. To put myself out there and compete against them, it's difficult, but I don't mind the challenge. I like competition a lot. So
I'm sure with club and travel and all that, you've been able to play with some other people that are around the area that don't wear the Boardman uniform. So who's your best soccer friend that doesn't wear Boardman?
oof, I would have to say the Silly Gentis from Howland.
Nice little conference rival. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What do Howland's one of your biggest rivals, and obviously they've done so many good things as a program. So what's it like going up with a team like that twice a year?
Obviously it's difficult, but we like the challenge. We like to be tested a lot. And obviously last year we came top the first time, but fell the second time. and obviously I can play in that game, and it was kind of heartbreaking, but every single year they give it to us, and we just look to come out and top and give it our all because we know they're a top team in the area and top team in the state as well.
There are no breaks in this game. You don't get timeouts. You have to kind of deal with adversity right in the thick of it. How do you kind of deal with adversity yourself, and how do you mentally bounce back from adversity, whether it be in a game or whether it be just a big adversity in your life?
So you got to have mental preparation. I do a lot of that, such as like meditating and stuff, just to stay calm in big situations. So it really helps a lot with my game.
Is that meditation something you do like right before a game to get yourself in that mental headspace?
Yeah, obviously you got to be mentally prepared. Obviously going into a couple big games this year, so it helps a lot with my game.
What is your favorite pre or post game meal to have before and after a soccer match?
It's got to be pasta. Pasta favorite. Can't go wrong with it.
Before or after?
Both.
Please say, huh?
Both of them.
Both of them. Wow. What's your favorite pasta?
I would say penne.
Okay, who makes the best pasta sauce?
It's got to be my dad. Makes the best pasta sauce. Can't go wrong.
What about a snack? What's your favorite kind of snack food?
So I kind of eat healthy, so I would have to say strawberries.
Okay, so you have a healthy diet, but you I gotta imagine you have something that's a guilty pleasure, some kind of dessert, some kind of sweet that you treat yourself with. Where do you go to when it's that time?
I would probably go get some ice cream at Handles.
Okay, a lot of flavors on that board. What's the best flavor at Handles?
In my opinion, Graham Central Station. That's a good one.
All right, that's all. Never a bad choice. What are some things that you do outside of the sport in your free time?
So I'm very involved in my school. I'm in various activities. We have some clubs that are schools such as like Big Spartan, Little Spartan, Link Crew, and Boardman Emerging Leaders. I'm involved in all three of those, and it's really fun, like to get involved in the school and give back to the community as well.
All right, when you're doing all that, obviously you have to have a deep passion and love for your school and your community. So, what makes Boardman so special to you, and why is it so important to you to give back to the school and the community?
Yeah, so ever since I started high school, I never went to Boardman until I went to high school. So when I got there, when I arrived, everyone was just so welcoming and welcomed me with open arms. And I just wanted to give back ever since that day. So it really means a lot to me to do that.
How would you describe what being a Spartan means in your eyes?
Being a Spartan, you got to be a leader. You got to be not just a leader at school, you got to be a leader outside school. And you just gotta come out and just be you, being a Spartan.
I'm sure you watched a lot of soccer growing up, and while you were developing your skills, who were some soccer players that you watched and tried to emulate when you were learning how to do the game?
So a player I look up to right now a lot is Messi and Phil Foden. They've helped me a lot. I try to study them a lot because I try to model my game a lot after them. So there's a lot of good players out there, but those two are the top two that I really like.
What about Boardman players that you had the chance to play with when you were an underclassman that you kind of looked up to?
Yeah, so the two big names I think that comes to mind when I think of leaders when I was a freshman are Angel Perez and Tommy Frida. Tommy Frida is the assistant coach for us right now, and he's helped me a lot with my game, just putting in the work and helping me train and stuff like that. And our other captain when I was a freshman, Angel Perez, he helped me a lot as well, motivating me, coming out every day to compete and fight. And they've been two important people in my soccer career.
And we also got to talk about Coach Simeon and what he's meant to you over your career and how much he's taught you about the game.
Coach Simeon, he's helped me a lot with my career. In high school, coming out as a sophomore, he had tons of faith in me that I could get the job done as a sophomore and start. And it turned out pretty good after that. And he's helped me a lot with colleges too, looking into college soccer and stuff like that. And he just believes in me, and I can't thank him enough.
All right, so obviously you have aspirations to play at the next level, still looking for a home. What are some things that are on your checklist of things that the school has to meet for you to want to be there and be in their program?
So I would like to go to school somewhere in Ohio near home, but obviously I want to go to a good school with a good soccer program, and I look to major in business administration. So those two things are important to me to look for in a school.
What kind of job do you hope to get with that business administration degree?
One day I hope to be a CEO of a company. So
That's awesome. When you do, make sure you come back and you remember all of us people in Boardman that are supporting you when you're the big shot. Before we let you go, I want to make sure that you get the chance to shout out your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout the years and throughout your career.
I'd like to shout out Tommy Frida, my mom and my dad, my club coach Mo, my club coach Tom, and my youth coach Mike Maley.
All right, Ian, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a nice glimpse into your senior season. We appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Rookie mistake. I was muted. Ian McGavin, one of the big senior leaders of Boardman boys soccer. And what I found most impressive about him, and when I scheduled him to be interviewed, I definitely reached out to Coach Simeone and I asked him, what are some things that make him special. And one of the things that really stood out when Coach was talking to me about him was how invested he is in the Boardman community and the Boardman school system. And he talked about he does a lot of what's the word? Extracurricular activities. He's involved in a lot of clubs at Boardman. He makes sure that he is a member of that community in the school system. And he said it is because when he came in his freshman year, that community was so open armed and so welcoming that he was very devoted into giving back to it. And, he's built on, this characteristic of just wanting to give back to the people that are in his corner. And if a college coach is watching this, I know they love students like that are going to come to a campus and be more than an athlete for that school or that college campus community. So I have no doubt in my mind that when Ian steps on a college campus, whether, hopefully it's to play soccer, but even if it's not, he is going to be a member of that college's community. He's going to be involved in a bunch of clubs. He's going to make himself a very big leader in that community. And I can't be shocked that he wants to be a CEO one day. DJ, you can speak to it because you are one. You gotta be one, you gotta be a leader. And two, you gotta know how to kind of make your connections and also just be involved in the communities that you're in.
Yeah, networking is huge, and the biggest part of being a owner or leader of a company, no matter where you are on the chain, is giving back. Like, leaders eat last. It's a book. Read it. It's a TED Talk. I'm pretty sure. Listen to it. And it sounds like he's that guy. It sounds like Ian is that guy that he's willing to put everything that his dreams and his ambitions sometimes on the back burner for the people that are with him. So best of luck to him. And there's a lot of great people at Boardman that I'm sure helped him out along the way. And it sounds like he's going to do everything in his power to give right back to the Spartans in some form or fashion.
As a CEO, what do you hear because he's not the first kid that has come on and say that I want to own a business or I want to be a CEO. What does that make you feel like when you hear kids that want to kind of step into that mindset and step in to be a leader in the business field? Obviously, there are going to be challenges ahead of them and challenges that all too well. But when you hear that there are young leaders that want to kind of be in that shoe and kind of step into that limelight and step into that, I shouldn't say limelight, step into that field, that path. What does that do for your like? What do you feel like when you hear kids say that?
I'm happy for them. It means they have dreams and ambitions and want to do something special with their life. But I also tell people that want to be CEOs to be careful what they wish for. CEO is just a title. What the CEO or what a founder of a company or a leader of a company has to do, not a whole lot of people want to do. It's just a name and lights. Getting those angry letters, getting those. You're working a lot more than people realize that you're working, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and not that I don't want people to be, or that I want people to be discouraged from being, a CEO or a leader of a company. It's just, I think everybody looks at it like being a quarterback of a football team. Like, oh, I can do that, but there's a lot that goes into it that nobody ever sees. There's a lot of hours behind the scenes that doesn't happen on here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't happen on YSN, and naturally any organization. It's you want to do things, or you have to do things that you never wanted to do. Like, I don't like numbers, and you got to know every number, every minute piece of information about your company. You can't just sit there and be like, I'm the big dog, so my name's on all the checks and my name's on all this, and it's not how it works. It's not how life works, and that's what I think we need to learn a lot younger age. Is if you want to be the guy in the limelight or the gal in the limelight, there's a lot of responsibilities and accountability that goes with it, and it's not always the good stuff.
One of these days, we're gonna have a day in the life of DJ Oakley piece of content where
not a chance.
Not a chance. You're not gonna vlog one day. Do a day in the life?
No, because I mean, I don't want people to think that I'm complaining about it. I asked for this. 5 years ago, I asked for the problems that I have now, and I there's a lot of great things that come along with this. I've met a lot of great people, like Amy said earlier. Just getting to know these kids and getting the coverage of what we thought we could do at the time. It's a lifelong dream, and it's come true, and I love it. I wake up every day loving what I do, loving my life. But that doesn't always mean it's easy. That doesn't always mean that I get a whole lot of sleep.
Shouldn't be easy. I mean, you shared a video with the YSN core group a couple weeks ago with the Duke women's basketball coaches having a talk with her team. Like, if you're waiting for it to get easy, stop waiting, because it's always going to be harder. It's you meet one goal, you set another one that's harder. You can't wait for things to get easy, because it never does.
This really is turning into a TED Talk.
I know, like, who knew?
Expectations. I mean, that's the biggest thing is managing your expectations of who you are, of what you want to accomplish, of what your business accomplishes. People don't get to see some of the conversations that you and I have, man. There's times where we hug it out, but there's times that you and I are like this, and it's tough. It's you have what you think is a high level, and then I kick it up 17 notches, and I say, I think we can get here, and we try to meet somewhere in the middle, or we try to accomplish that. And that's what a good coach does. I got a chance to sit down with Rich Wright, which we'll feature at 3:00 on the Power Hour, and he's not happy. He's not happy that they lost the Valley, but he understands that was a good test for them if they want to win a state title. And I think business is more like sports than people will ever understand, and it's the ultimate sport. Is because there's somebody that's trying to put us out of business every day. There's people that talk about us. There's people that watch us, that try to replicate what we do in given situations. And, there's people that will talk jargon. There's people that will talk crap on the company. There's people that will talk crap on me. There's people that will promote the company. There's people that will promote me. It's trying to, I talked about the minutia earlier, and going back to Ian, soccer is a very, very slow game, right? And so is business. And if you're not in it for the long game, if you're not in it to assist somebody to be able to kind of dish the apple out there for somebody else to score a goal, you're probably not going to be a very good CEO, it's why I think that young man is going to do great things in his life.
Soccer's really fun because it's slow developing, but you're always running, so it's fast too. So it's kind of that dichotomy of I'm always running on the field, so I have to always be kind of in my agility, in my speed, but at the same time, it's a very slow developing game, and you have to kind of make your own adjustments because there are no timeouts. There's no coaches that are going to huddle you together and say, okay, this is what the team's doing. This is what adjustments we need to make. All you get is halftime. That's it. So you have to make those adjustments yourself on the field. So that's why I'm always impressed with soccer leaders, especially at their ability to see the whole picture of everything that's going on with their team and the other team, bring people together, have conversations, communicate with their players on the field, their other players, and say, this is what's wrong. This is what we need to fix. And that's why mid-game adjustments in soccer are one of the most impressive adjustments to be had in a sport, because it's all done by the players. The coaches don't get too much time to, they're not, like I said, there are no timeouts. So the coaches can't call the team together and be like, okay, this is what's happening.
Wow.
They can do it on practice. They can do it at halftime, but mid-game adjustments are always fun to watch in soccer because it's all the players.
You know a lot about soccer.
I'm starting to learn about it. I'm trying.
I can get Quinn to get you in the booth.
You can take an elevator up to that press box in the football fields.
You've been in press boxes before.
Yeah. The Scene Park one. That's about it.
Firestone?
Yeah.
You've climbed the stairs there.
I just climb up the bleachers. Yeah.
See?
I'll do it. Let's go.
All right. Quinn, you heard it. He just gave me a thumbs up. You're good to go.
All right.
Welcome to soccer.
Let's go. I'll do whatever, It's cool.
I know you will, buddy.
Let's take a first break of the day, pay some bills, hear from our wonderful sponsors that we've given a couple of shout outs to, and we'll be back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside DJ Yoakley. Before we get to a couple of other interviews that we have, I want to give a good luck to the Boardman girls and Jocelyn Zhao from Canfield as they embark in the Division I girls district today, trying to punch some spots into state. In golf, we've already seen Mooney boys golf make it to state. We've seen more in JFK boys golf make it to state. And now we're trying to get a couple of other golfers to at least qualify for the state tournament a little bit later on. So Boardman girls team and Jocelyn Zhao from Canfield are both golfing today. And we wish them the best of luck. Not the best weather. It's kind of cold, kind of overcast. I think it's raining up there a little bit. But hopefully they can manage through it, push through it, and put together some quality rounds and lock themselves up into a state.
Hey, best of luck to all of them out there. And, I know Brian is a huge advocate for golf in the area. We're trying to grow it and can't do it without these great programs and great youngsters fighting through and getting some stadies. So hopefully they can make it and and we're saying their name a lot more in the next week or so.
And then, obviously, Mooney and JFK will venture into state. They already made it. Rocco Turner is the headliner of that Mooney boys golf team. And then Bryce Van Horn is one of the headliners of that JFK boys golf team. And JFK is a program that is kind of surprised everybody. When we talked to Bryce Van Horn, he said, they struggled a little bit last year, came together as a team this year, had a new focus. And all they did is, become one of the best. Well, actually, I think the best team in Trumbull County. They won the Trumbull County Invitational. They won the sectional, and then they won the district, and they're going to state.
Yeah, shout out to Maddie Zines as well from United, who competes in Columbus tomorrow. Thank you, Siggy, for keeping us on our toes on that. There was I think it was a couple years ago, wasn't it, that a young man from JFK won state in golf.
Mm-hmm.
So it hasn't been that long, and JFK just continues to dominate in almost everything they do, and it's incredible.
Matty Zines with one of the best one-liners we've heard from a player profile yet. You drive for show, you putt for dough, and hopefully she can do that tomorrow in state.
Well, that's an old school golf saying.
I hadn't heard it before she said it, so I loved it. Me and Richie both got a kick out of it.
Whoa, drinking at the same time. That's it's because Richie doesn't putt for dough. Richie drives for show. Like Richie he's got one of the most beautiful golf swings there are. And I have one of the worst golf swings there are. And Richie kills me in golf. But every once in a while, I get that one shot that just drives him absolutely bonkers because he knows how terrible I am at golf and how little. I just have really nice clubs and a really nice bag. That's it. I keep putting my dough into my bag and everything else. It just goes right to Brian Tolnar is what it does.
So Richie was playing it up yesterday when he said he had a terrible golf outing on Tuesday.
I wasn't there.
So he was probably, I think he was playing it up. Yeah, he's like, when we played Tolnar's Take, he's like, man, I really needed it yesterday. I was sucking on the golf course.
Listen, he's been bad. He's been bad. But we've all been bad. Like, we've all been, our foursome's not good, ever. Not good. But we have a good time.
And Brian Tolnar is always the one-take Tolnar. He did a great job with Tolnar's Take yesterday. It was great to be able to play that, even though he's a busy man. And we had to delay his segment for 1 week. But he'll be back next week to talk about the state results that we get today from the lower divisions and the district results we get today from Division 1.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back. So let's go into some more interviews. We have seniors from Girard Volleyball. We're going to play them back to back. Then we'll come back and talk about some other stuff on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet. But let's hear from Abby Rafferty first, and then we'll go to Ezra Dede from Girard Volleyball seniors on the volleyball team in Girard. Anthony Hartwig here with a Girard Volleyball player profile, joined by senior Abby Rafferty. Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, let's talk about it. It's senior season so far. What's your favorite part about being a senior?
Definitely being able to get all my laughs with my very best friends. It's definitely sad at some points too, because it's all your laughs with everything you're doing. But with such a great season we're having, it's incredible to be doing it all with my very best friends.
You have hit some laughs already because we're winding down this season, and your last home game, you've hit some laughs. That's for sure. What has been the saddest last moment so far on the season?
Probably senior night. It's the biggest last we've had. We had our last home game this past Saturday at Crestview, but it was a really big win for us. So it was a great last time to play on our court. Luckily, we have 2 home playoff games, though, so that's really exciting. So we do get to go play 2 more times at home, which is great.
Yeah, and you get this is the last tournament run for you, about to get started. You guys got the brackets. I know you had like a watch party on Sunday to see where you were able to fall. You're the 1 seed. What's that mean to this team, and how excited is this team to kind of get started and get working on tournament time?
We are so excited. We've worked hard all season. There's so many good teams in our district, and we're so happy to get the 1 seed. We're going to take one game and not take any team lightly, play our game every single game.
All right, so let's talk about the transition between last year and this year. Obviously, last year you were used as a libero, and this year your role has changed a little bit. What has that been like, just being able to do whatever your team needs and whatever Coach Phil asks of you?
Yes, that's exactly it. Whatever, I put all trust in Coach Phil. He knows exactly what he's doing. Our libero now, Bailey Walters, is one of the most hardworking teammates I've ever played with. She puts her body on the floor for any single ball, and our team would not want anyone back there besides her. So I play right back now, and that's exactly where Coach Phil needs me. So that's exactly what I do.
What do you miss most about libero?
I would say definitely all the random little ups you can get as a libero. Like you're running everywhere to get everything, but Bailey does that so great now. So she's doing a great job.
Did you like being able to just run off the floor and be not having to go and do the whole substitution thing?
Yes, it was nice. It was a lot easier. But even though I sub now with Nico Cochran, she's one of my best friends. So we always say something to each other and everything. So it's fine.
Okay, so what are those conversations like? Can we reveal the conversations at the subline?
Usually good job, or you go, or something stupid, small.
Like you said, she's one of your great friends, and you have so many great friends on this team, and you're a part of a great senior class. If you took from the teammates that you were with freshman year and maybe the teammates you've gotten to know throughout the years, who on this team do you think you've gotten to know the most over your career at Girard?
I would say Ezra Dede and Maddie Melito, because we both, or all three of us, were on JV our freshman and sophomore year, where Allie Durkin and Lauren Pullum, they were on varsity all 4 years. So we were definitely the closest as we all came up together.
You being on JV the first 2 years, you have the perspective that some of the players in this program have now, some of your JV players that are going to be asked to step on that varsity floor next year when you guys leave. What kind of advice have you given them, and how much do you see them work and practice to make you confident that they'll be able to step up like you did your junior season to be on that varsity level?
Yes. Our JV team now has a lot of juniors on it because we have so many this season. And I'm really good friends with all of them. I know just because of how their age and their grade and how long they've all been playing volleyball, that I always tell them that, you know the game, you can come into any game. And if they do come into any game, I know they'll always be ready, even if we would need them this year.
We've been to a lot of home games, and you guys have an electric student section in every game you guys play. Yes. What does that mean to this volleyball team in a sport that maybe at other places doesn't get the respect or the support that it deserves, especially from the student body, but you guys always do? What's that mean to you guys?
It means so much. Our whole school, we are all so close from grades 9 through 12. We support each other in every sport, whether it be obviously football, volleyball, even soccer. We're all such great friends, and we love supporting each other. And when you're in a big game like that and you have them behind you, it just makes it so much better.
What's your favorite part about being in a student section when you're not playing?
Just cheering on my best friends. It's so fun to watch this season in every sport. We've been so successful, and it's just great.
What's your favorite sport to be a part of a student section in?
Definitely football. It's the most exciting, obviously, but.
All right, so we'll just say it. What's your favorite part about that Friday Night Light atmosphere and being a part of a student section on Fridays?
I would say just watching my best friends. All the boys that play now, we have me and my girlfriends and them. We've grown up together since we've been in kindergarten. We went to Girard our whole lives, and just being able to cheer them on like they cheer us on I love it.
Gonna put you on the spot because I know you like a lot of them, but who is your non-volleyball player best friend at Girard in the athletics community?
I would say honestly there's three of them: Megan Durkin, Sophia Littell, and Maria Agazzino. They're three of my best friends that don't play volleyball, and they're always there to support me, and I love them so much. They're so fun, and I love them.
You know, those names, they ring a bell a little bit. So obviously they have good stock in supporting that team.
Yes.
What about your family support and the other support that you get outside of a student section? How much do you get, and how much does it mean to you?
Every single person in my family at least just came to watch me at least one time this season. My mom, my dad, all my grandparents, they're at every single game, no matter where it is. They come and support me, and that just means the world to me because they're everything to me.
All right. When you're looking in the stands before a game, who's the first person you're trying to find to see where they're sitting?
I there or not. So definitely him.
All right. So when you think about your career at Girard and some of the ways that you've grown since freshman season, what do you think the biggest difference is between you as a freshman and you as a senior?
Definitely my knowledge of volleyball. A lot of my other teammates played club growing up, and I never did. I only started in 7th grade. So I really was not like as knowledge of the game as they were growing up playing it. So I would say now that I'm a senior, I've learned so much from them, from my coaches, and just everyone.
What was the hardest skill set or thing to learn about the sport of volleyball as you were growing into your career?
I think the hardest skill in volleyball is definitely setting. I give so much credit to our setter, Allie Durkin. She is great. It's so hard. Even when I try to set now in games, it does not go very well. It is very hard to be able to not double the ball and have a great set for our hitters to hit.
So you are not one of the players that's going to Coach Phil saying, "Let me set, Coach."
Definitely.
If there was one position on the floor that you don't play that you would like to kind of ask Phil if you could play, what's that one position on the floor that you'd like to put your hat into?
Well, I obviously would want to be a hitter, but I'm 5'3", so that just doesn't work out for me. But I think being able to put a kill down is great. So if I would grow and be taller, I would love to do that.
Just put some weights on your legs at night.
Yeah.
You obviously are a multiple sport athlete at Girard. What's the transition like between volleyball and the next one and the next one, and how do you kind of deal with that mental transition?
It is definitely a lot. I don't have any time off during the whole entire school year. As soon as we're done with volleyball, basketball practice is starting next week, so it's going to go right into that. And once basketball is over, like last year, I had like 2 days off before softball started. So it's just it gets you in a routine though. So it's my 4th year now too, so I'm kind of used to it. But I'm always with my friends, so it's very fun.
Which one's your favorite? I got to put you on the spot and ask for your favorite sport.
I would say softball because I've been playing it since I was 3 years old. I've played years of travel softball. I've done it just for so long. But volleyball is right there because of how fun and electric it is to play. I love it so much. But I'd have to go with softball just because how long I've done it and everything like that.
What's your favorite thing about the sport of softball?
Hitting. I love hitting so much. Sometimes when you're on defense, I'm a catcher. I'm in the action all the time, but hitting is definitely my favorite part.
All right, so you're the catcher of this team, and we'll talk to you during softball season a little bit more about it. But it's one of those positions like a defender in volleyball. Doesn't get a lot of love, doesn't get a lot of the stat columns. You're just kind of back there doing your job. How much does your position in volleyball and your position in softball kind of help you with that mentality of just doing the dirty work that doesn't get a lot of love from the articles and the highlight reels?
Yeah, I love doing it, especially in softball catching. My pitcher, Emily Rose, is one of my best friends, and I just love seeing her do great. Same with volleyball with my huge hitters, Lauren Pallone, Brie Littell, Nico Cochran, Ezra Dede, Maddie Melito, Mila Bertolasio, everyone that's hitting up there. I love getting to see them get that kill, and just knowing I may have got that pass for Allie to be able to set that ball to get them that kill feels great.
All right, you said before how much of a trust you have in Coach Walters, and obviously great guy to trust. He has a volleyball mind, been doing this for so long. When did you think that trust really clicked? Because it takes a minute to, build the trust with someone, especially a coach. When did you kind of finally, that light bulb go off that like Coach Walters is someone that I can trust full-heartedly in what he's telling me what to do?
The first time I ever had him was as a coach, obviously last year, like just the knowledge he has for the game and the little things he'll just think of. And like, I would never think like anyone would know that kind of stuff. Like his knowledge for the game is unbelievable, and everything he knows where to put everyone to make it perfect for the team. And it's just great to be able to be coached by him.
He gives you guys weekly awards, offensive player of the week, teammate of the week and things like that.
Yes.
What does that do for this team, the morale, to know that, every week you guys can set personal goals and try to reach those and try to be, honored for the weekly awards at Girard?
Yes, exactly. I think it's such a great thing that he does that. It's the only sport that I play at Girard that someone does that. And like you said, it really just makes you as your own, as yourself, want to do better each week. so that you have that goal to be that player of the week for wherever it might be.
What were some of your personal goals that you set for yourself this season?
As a passer, I obviously, like, you need to get a good pass to be able to get a set and be able to get a kill. So I just really worked on, like, all off season and all the open gyms to just try to make sure that I can get that pass when I need to be able to give that pass.
All right, so we got to talk about the future, even though we don't want to think about the end, but it is the future. You are a senior. You are have to leave high school eventually. What kind of things do you see yourself in? What goals do you have for yourself after high school?
I want to go to college after high school. When I was younger, I always wanted to go to college to play sport, but now that I'm a senior, I've been playing sports my entire life. Like, I really just want to go to college and have a great time and get a great get a great career. So those are my plans. Go to college, get a degree, and yep.
So you've made the decision to not continue your sports career in college,
Correct.
which is something that, it's perfectly fine. People make. When did you come across that decision, and when did you kind of realize that was going to be the best thing for you?
I would say after last year, after when softball ended, I've been through all 3 sports, and it's just a lot, and it's very tiring. And after a while, like, it really just does get to be a lot. And I love it so much and would not trade it for absolutely anything. But I've been doing it for 12, 13 years now, with being in school, since I was able to play any type of sport. And I loved every second of it, but I think it's just time now that I go and leave it behind, even though that's sad. But
does the fact that it's the end make you even more kind of hit you every time you go into your senior year, and you're going into your senior basketball year, you're going into your senior softball year, and it really is the last time you're going to do it?
It is. And it's really sad to think about. I've been playing with my friends since basketball since I was in 3rd grade. I started playing t-ball when I was 3 years old. So it's crazy.
All right. So I know you're going to keep the game in your life somehow. Can we see Coach Rafferty? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, or I don't know.
You are surrounded by so many great coaches. Do you think you would make a good coach?
I would hope to think I would. My dad's a football coach, so that he's shown so many things. He's been my coach before, and I think he showed me great ways. If I ever were to be a coach, that I could be a great coach.
All right, I think you have a great future ahead of you as a coach. I'm just going to say it. I think it would be a great career path and a great way to keep impacting the sport. I hope we can have a coach's corner with Abby Rafferty one day. When you think about what it means to you to be a Girard Indian and to represent this school, what kind of things come to mind?
Being a Girard Indian means everything to me. Ever since I was born, that's all I knew was Girard. Like I said, my dad's a football coach. I've been going to football games since I was 1 year old. Just the family atmosphere it has, like, it's honestly incredible. Like, I just don't see how any school could be as close and how Girard is as a family.
All right, Abby, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to kind of shout out the family and the support system that you have and all the people that show up for you every time you go out on the floor.
I would first like to thank my family. They are there every single game, anything I do, they're always supporting me. And obviously my friends, all of my best friends, I love them so much. And my coaches for always doing everything for me to make me the best player in any sport that I am today.
All right, Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck going forward, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.
Anthony Herwig here with a Girard volleyball player profile. I'm joined by senior Ezra Dede. Ezra, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And first thing I want to talk about, we talked to your sister last season, her senior year. What has it been like the first year without her on the team and kind of being able to be the lone Dede, I should say, and to make a name for yourself?
Right. It's a lot different. This is the first time I've been on a court without her on it. So not having her on there is a lot different. There's not someone I can go to that she'll kind of like give me the dead honest opinion. So that's a little different, but she's always texting me and is always tuned in on Ysn to watch every game. And it's funny because she'll text me throughout the game, like little things like, oh, good block, or oh, get that ball, or watch your serve, or different things like that. So that's still really cool.
So like after a game, you open your phone, and you have all these texts that like.
Yeah, I'm like spammed with text all the way down. So
What's the biggest form of advice that she gave you before she left last year to make you ready for this season and in your senior year?
definitely to always keep a positive attitude and enjoy every moment because, like she said, this year will be my last year. So she really said to just enjoy it and have so much fun.
Last year, you got to watch her go through all the emotions of senior nights and all the senior things that go along with it. How have you handled that? And what's it been like reflecting on senior season and realizing that you're doing a lot of things for the last time?
Yeah. So sometimes she would say things and I'd be like, oh, Sehon, like it's a sport. It's like all this. But like going through it this year, I've seen like how hard it is and, saying goodbye to a sport you love and like your whole team and your coaches, it takes a toll on your emotions and it's definitely something that's hard.
Okay, so we have seen a lot of growth out of you, especially this season out of the middle. What do you think you've worked on the most this year to really shine on your senior season?
Yeah, it's definitely my blocking. Last year, I think I did a good job getting some touches on the ball. But this year and during the off season in club, I really took the time to really get my timing and footwork down. Being able to transition from the middle to the outside or to the right side is something that I really took pride in this year in order to get at least a touch on the ball so it could slow down for our back row to get a good pass to Allie in order for her to set up her offense.
What were some of your other personal goals that you set for yourself this season and you wanted to accomplish before the season ended?
Yeah, so last year I didn't serve, but this year I really wanted to, get a chance at the back row and, allow my serve to make a difference for the game.
All right, this year you are on that service order and you do play a little bit of a back row. Obviously, that's a big trust that Coach Walters has in you to give you that opportunity. What did that mean to you to know that the coaching staff kind of trust you enough to put you in that spot? And how are you able to just take that opportunity and run with it?
Right. So I do think I started a little bit in the back row, but I'm still working on that in practices and trying my best at games. For as long as serving goes, I really just try and find the spots that Coach Phil wants me to go in order to disturb the other team's offense a little bit and do my best to stay back on defense and follow in Bailey's footsteps as I take her position over for a rotation.
That's got to be some big footsteps to follow in.
It sure is.
What kind of advice had she given you? I'm sure she's given you some good pointers back there. Hey, when you're in my spot, this is what you have to do. What kind of advice had she given you?
Right. So in practice, she'll kind of show me when we're going over that rotation, like, hey, like, take a step over to the right or make sure you're on the back line or different things like that. And just always keep your weight forward and be ready for the ball to come to you.
All right, so we asked a lot of your teammates a lot about Coach Walters, but one thing we haven't asked yet is what are some things outside of a game that we get to see on the sidelines that you think people should know about Phil Walters that maybe you see in practice or you see off the floor?
Yeah, definitely how funny he is. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he is constantly cracking jokes all throughout practice and games, and he has like such good inside humor that we're constantly laughing and having a good time.
All right, I'm going to test your memory banks, but what do you think is like the best Phil Walters joke he's ever had, the one that is just putting you guys on the floor?
It was definitely something about like tires, like, are you a bike because you're always something with like two tires and us always being tired. Or anytime we're singing, he'll constantly say like, oh, who sings that? And we'll say who sings it. And he's like, all right, let's keep it that way. So anytime we sing or something, that's always what he's saying.
Well, who's got the best pipes on the team though? Like who can really belt out a song?
We're all pretty bad. Let me tell you. Usually one of us will say a line and the other one will sort of finish it. I know me and Allie are constantly like singing and like who can say the next lyric better. So
what's one song that you know all the words to and you would definitely pass on that, like the Name That Lyric game show?
A song, usually we only know like the first line that's in like a TikTok that we like can memorize. So it's usually like going between like the two lines of a TikTok that we heard.
So what you're saying is you would not do good on that game show.
Yeah, definitely not.
What do you think is one game show that you would really do good at if you had the opportunity to play on?
Oh, Family Feud.
That was a quick answer.
Yeah, I love that.
You've thought about that too.
Yeah.
Survey says, what do you think is the funniest Family Feud moment that you've seen?
I like Celebrity Family Feud, and anytime like I don't know, the Kardashians are on or something. I feel like their answers are always so random. So I think those are funny.
We know that your family is very competitive. So as we go into game shows, what's family game night look at? And what's your family's go-to game on family game night?
Oh yeah, my family is definitely competitive, and somehow people find a way to cheat. But anyway, I would say we play like Uno card games. I don't know. The boys in our grade all love poker, so I'm still trying to figure that out so I can get the win on them.
Who cheats? Like, let's call them out. Who's cheating?
My dad, he won't even know how to play, and he'll somehow find a way to win. So
he's hustling.
Right.
That's what he's doing. When you get that competitive nature and that competitive fire, what do you think drives that? And how much do you think it really comes out of you during games? Obviously a multiple sport athlete.
Yeah, I think I'm very determined, and no matter what I'm doing, like whether it's schoolwork or in a sport or even a silly game at home, I always want to win. I'm always trying my best and using my skills that I've learned to get there.
All right, so in schoolwork and other personal goals, you're competing with yourself. And then, of course, during games, you're competing with other people. What kind of do you like more? Do you like setting those goals and competing with yourself? Or do you like having someone across from you that you can tangibly say, I'm competing with you and I want to beat you?
I definitely like someone across from me. I think if I'm competing with myself, I can be a little too hard on myself. So I like to have someone else I can go after instead.
What is one sport that you don't play that you would like to kind of throw your hat into?
So I used to play softball when I was younger, and then I kind of stopped when I got into high school because it was like getting to be a lot to be in a lot of like every sport every season. So I took a break, and Abby and Allie are always trying to get me to come back. So
can we get you back on senior season? Can you play softball?
Hey, it's a possibility.
Hey, you never know. Your sister played for a little bit,
Yeah.
so she can definitely tell you how to swing a softball bat.
Right.
When you think of other things that you like to do outside of sports, what are some of your favorite hobbies and favorite things to do in your downtime?
Yeah. So I'm always with my friends. There's like probably not a night that we aren't with each other, whether that be the team. Usually it is the team or some others that don't play the sports, but we're always together, whether it's driving around or getting food, watching a movie or online shopping.
Online shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, well that opens up a whole Pandora's box because what's one thing that you spend a lot of money on that you probably shouldn't?
Oh, shoes.
How many shoes do you have? Like let's open the door here.
I don't know, but I'm really into them, so I take really good care of them. But I got a good amount.
What was the last pair you bought?
I got a pair of like low dunks, and they're like red, black, and white. So they go with all my Jordan stuff. So I think it was a good purchase.
It's a good purchase. It's solid.
Yeah.
What were a pair of shoes your last impulse buy, like the last thing that you bought out of nowhere for no really good reason?
Yes, I think so.
How does that get you in trouble a lot? Like, do people kind of get like, hey, you need to stop spending money on shoes?
Yeah, my mom definitely tells me I have enough. She's like, you have enough for every outfit. Like, I think that's time to stop. But so, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how clean do you think you keep your bedroom?
Oh boy. I would say 5 because 50% of the time it's clean and the other 50% of the time not so good.
How much do you get harped on keeping it clean?
Oh, my mom is a total clean freak. So she is constantly like on me to like pick up my clothes or to make my bed. So sometimes if it gets too messy, she helps me out.
What are some household chores that you do have and you're responsible for?
Take care of my bedroom and clean that up, and my bathroom and make sure everything's put away. And I help around wherever I can or when she needs me to.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have one dog.
All right. What's the craziest thing your dog has ever done?
Oh no. My dog eats just about like anything in reach. So one time before Christmas, like my mom had a bunch of like candy and stuff to give us, and my dog somehow found a way into the room and ate it all. So my mom had to go out and rebuy it all.
If your dog could talk, what do you think he would say about you?
Clean your room.
Clean your room.
So I can lay down.
Now as we get back to this team, and there are a lot of seniors on the team, but there are also a lot of underclassmen and future leaders of Girard volleyball. What kind of advice have you given them, and who is one person that is an underclassman that you've tried to take under your wing and try to help grow along with their journey?
Yeah, so being in their position before, I know what it's like, and Coach Phil's like constantly watching both teams, so I always like want to remind them that he is watching, and he can pull you up whenever he needs you. So like always be on your A game and always be trying your hardest. Alexis Peaton, she's the middle hitter for JV, and she does an incredible job. So I know she's going to transition into varsity very seamlessly.
When you think about this program next year and what it's going to look like, how confident are you that they're going to be able to just come back and do exactly what you guys are doing after you leave?
Right. I have no doubt that they're going to do just as good as we're doing right now. They're constantly working hard. We still have Bailey, Bree, and Nico. Alexis is going to move up. We have some great hitters, Erica Teeter and Ronnie Sportbigger, that are just going to be able to move up just fine. And I think the team's going to do very well.
There are a lot of juniors in this program. So
Yeah.
What's your advice to them about handling senior year and handling the emotions that come with senior season?
Yeah, I would tell them just be the best leader you can be. This is your last time doing a bunch of things on the volleyball court. So make the most of it, keep your attitude positive, and enjoy every moment.
All right, it is your last school year at Girard as well. What have been some of your favorite subjects that you've been able to study at Girard, and who are some teachers that have really impacted your journey?
Yeah, I've taken a lot of CCP courses. That's Mrs. O'Brien. She kind of takes over that role. She does a great job. Miss Dawn, our sign language teacher, she makes her classroom feel very welcoming. So I always enjoy going in there.
When you say, you take sign language, which I think is so cool, what was some of the things that made you want to do that? And how has it kind of opened your horizons and made you realize some stuff about what other people are dealing with?
Yeah, I thought it was super cool that our school offered that. I was super eager to go take it as a freshman. And I honestly just thought, like, as long as you can learn the alphabet, you can honestly get away with having any conversation and help someone that might need help in the world. So just by knowing that, you're able to spell things out.
Since having that class, have you ever had a conversation with someone just purely sign language?
There was one time I was at Starbucks before a game, and the girl was having a little bit of a hard time. So I was able to, defer the ice from a hot coffee for her.
Do you teach your teammates sign language so you can communicate non-verbally on the court?
I don't know if you catch it sometimes, but sometimes like me and Allie will throw in some signs, or me and or Abby or Maddie, like we're constantly like spelling things out. Or if we don't want someone to know something, like we'll spell it in sign language.
And we'll definitely keep those signs under wraps.
Right.
We're not gonna disclose that information at all. But that is an advantage. That is an advantage. What is your favorite thing about being a Girard Indian, and how much are you gonna miss just being a part of the school system?
Yeah, I'm totally going to miss it every day. There's honestly nothing like it. Having the support that we do every game and being able to feel so welcomed everywhere you go in Girard is such a great feeling. The friends I've made and the support that we get is totally unmatched.
All right, so we've talked about your sister, we've joked about the rest of your family, but how much does your family support really mean to you? And I want to give you the chance to kind of give them and everyone else that supports you a shout out before we let you go.
Yeah, my family is definitely the biggest supporters. They're constantly there. My grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, my aunts and cousins and uncles, they're always there. I always have someone in the stands that I can look up and see. So thank you to them for always coming, and for Sehon for tuning into Ysn. I also want to thank my coaches and my teammates for everything they do for me. And for the fans and my friends who are always coming out, I appreciate you guys always being there to cheer.
I want to thank Sehon for being understanding that I mispronounced her name for 2 years before I finally got it right.
No problem.
So that's all good. Before I let you go, what makes your family unique? What is one thing that you think your family does a little bit differently than everybody else?
Yeah, my dad's Turkish, so it kind of took him a while to understand the whole scheme of volleyball and to learn a little bit about it. So he was learning basically just how I was growing up. So it was kind of cool to see him like gain all that knowledge and get really invested in the sport. You'll always hear him yelling.
All right, Ezra, thank you so much for tuning in and coming with us to talk with us today. We thank you so much for your time. We wish you the best of luck in your tournament run coming up, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much again.
That was Abby Rafferty and Ezra Day, two of the seniors on Girard Volleyball. a team that is striding at the right time, definitely, as they have one more test in the regular season before they get ready to tournament time. They will make the long trip up to Gilmore Academy in a suburb of Cleveland tonight to take on the Lancers, and that's a strong volleyball program. So Girard testing themselves one more time before they head into the district tournament, where they are the number 1 seed in the Northeast District.
And it's no shocker as to why they continue to just absolutely pour it on. The way that they've taken on these teams, these juggernaut programs, and they have taken them down. Girard, to me, is the hottest team in volleyball right now.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you that Saturday afternoon game against Crestview, where Crestview came in undefeated, and Girard just kind of picked them apart, especially with the serve. I think this team serves so well. Bailey Walters can spot serve. Lauren Pallone can spot serve. Brie Littell can spot serve. So it's a team that can see a player or a struggle spot for a team, and not just serve it hard or have a float serve and have a lot of good things that a lot of other players have in the area, but they can consistently hit the same spot. So if you're struggling, you're not going to get away from their serve. And then if you make an adjustment to say we're going to hide this player, maybe in the back left, their servers can just adjust and hit that spot again because they're so accurate with their serve. So that's definitely something that they really took advantage of against Crestview. And when you can spot serve and get other teams out of system, when you have the hitters and the blockers that they do, it can really do wonders for your team. So they are definitely, like I said, striding at the right moment. And they have one more test. It's tonight, Gilmore Academy. That'll be a fun one to kind of see how they do against the Lancers up in Cleveland. Talking to Phil Walters over the weekend, they're going to leave at 2:30, and they're not scheduled to be back at the school until 11. So it's going to be a long day for Girard, a long day for whatever bus driver got the trip for that one. They're going to have to take a bus full of a volleyball team, and I think he said they're taking the freshman team, the JV team, and the varsity team. So it's going to be a full bus to Gilmore Academy tonight.
Experience it. You know what I mean? It's part of the experience. Freshmen oftentimes get overlooked for games like this. And Coach, great job. Tip of the cap to you for including everybody and understanding that it takes everybody to do what you want to do, and that's win a state championship.
And yeah, if you want to make a regional, you're gonna have to travel. If you want to make a state, you're definitely gonna have to travel because the state tournament's in Wright State, which is right outside of Dayton. So get used to these long bus rides if you want to climb that mountaintop.
Without a shadow of a doubt, and it's one of those things, Anthony, that these are the grunge days, these are the grind days, and you say one more big game, but I guarantee you Girard sees every game as a big game, and good for them. They deserve it. I mean, they're the hottest team in volleyball right now, bar none.
These districts aren't local either. Me and Richie were talking about it yesterday. You got Division 1 is in Solon and Mentor. Then you have Division 2 in Jefferson and Streetsboro, which are both about 45 minutes away. And then you have Division 3 in Grand Valley and Medina. And then our Division 4 is actually the only ones that are in the circle of our area. That they'll be in Lisbon and Columbiana.
I got nothing to add.
So if you're wanting to go watch some volleyball, you're gonna have to travel a bit to see some of these big matchups. Lakeview Crestview will, if the numbers play out, would be a semifinal. The other end of that bracket would be Middle Ridge and Kirtland if the numbers play out in that district. Girard is going to have a good chance to go to the district championship. Aurora is in that district. They moved down from Division 1. There are a lot of really good volleyball matchups in these districts, but you might have to put some miles on your car if you want to go watch them. Let's go. We have one more interview to get to today. We are going to let you guys hear from Nick Novak, a senior from Crestview Boys Soccer. But before we do, I do want to preview the night on the network. That way we can play Nick's interview, and that can kind of be the closing of the show. So as we go into the games of the glance for tonight, oh, that's the wrong spreadsheet. There we go. Games of the glance for tonight. We will have 4 volleyball matches tonight, and we will also have a soccer match. Plus, we'll have the Post Office Pub with Middle Ridge tonight, if I'm not mistaken. That's
Correct.
still tonight.
100%.
and Hackett's with Cheney football as well with Steve Leslie. So Jake Silac and Steve Leslie will both be doing live interviews with Middle Ridge and Cheney tonight. Here are the 4 volleyball matchups that are going to be happening on the network. 6 p.m. first serve in Liberty with Alec Caberna as they take on the Academy of Urban Scholars. 6:30 is the first serve in Boardman as the Spartans welcome in Hubbard. Donnie Riccatelli will be on the call for that one. A big one in Fitch as Marlington comes to town. They are the next highest seed in Gerard's bracket in that district. They are the 3 seed in Division 2. They will test their strengths against Austintown Fitch at 7 o'clock. Ty Bartel will be on the call there. I am going to Latonia to watch the Bears welcome in the Trojans of Sebring at 7 o'clock for a first serve in that. Then we will have Madison and Orange JV varsity doubleheader. The school will have that on the boys soccer side. Boardman also playing Howland on boys soccer tonight. Some other games that are going on that you can go out and support. Heartland Christian is hosting Badger. That is a 3-loss Badger team. It could be a very good match between the Lions and the Braves. That's going to be a 5:30 start. You have Edison welcoming Claymont. You have Crestview traveling to Salem for their regular no, not their regular season finale. Excuse me. They play on Saturday against Boardman as well. So Crestview, 2 games left on their regular season slate before they get ready for tournaments. Newton Falls hosting Grand Valley tonight at 7 o'clock. Matthews will be hosting Brookfield at 7 o'clock tonight as well. Toronto will come to town. East Palestine will be their destination. 7 o'clock first serve there. And then Waterloo will have senior night as they welcome in Wyndham for the volleyball match at 7 o'clock as well. That might be a little bit later with the senior night festivities going on between JV and varsity. So those are your games going on the network and off the network tonight. If you are not going to watch games on the network, try to get out and support these athletes as the regular season winds down and they get ready for postseason. DJ, I don't know if you saw this. Ursuline football is taking a twist on the trend that's been going on in student sections the last couple of years with the fat heads that you hold up. You bring your senior fat heads, you hold them up. It's just a big face. They're having those put on a shirt. So if you have a student ticket for the Ursuline football game this week, you will get a shirt with a senior on it, with a senior's face on it.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that was a really cool twist on a tradition that has been kind of it has been trending the last couple of years with the fathead signs. So I think that's kind of cool to have a senior face on your shirt. They're green and yellow shirts. And if you have a student ticket, you'll be able to get a shirt with your entry into the football game. That was something cool that I saw on social media today.
These marketing departments are getting really, really crafty.
I know, man. Another result I want to give out that I did not cover in our result portion of the show. Waterloo girls soccer did complete their undefeated season. They got the win last night over Liberty, and they have scored 111 goals as a team this year. Wow. That is an average of just about 7 goals per game. 15-0-1 is their record. Just a 1 tied at champion is the only thing that stopped them from having that perfect 0-0. On the right side of their record. Kara English has 136 career goals, scored 43 in the regular season this year. And even though that seems like a lot, not even half of the goals of the team. So you know that other players are stepping up while teams are circling Kara English. And that is one of the big reasons why Waterloo is so successful. Can't just stop number 7 on that team.
Seems like a lot. That is a lot. I don't care who you are. That's a ton of goals.
Right. Can't just stop number 7. She has a couple of more tournament games to boost that season total. She is, 136 total right now as a career. So she's about, 56 off of the state record of 192 going into her senior year right now. So we keep that watch and we hope that she's able to get that next year. She's well on pace. She's 1 goal away from breaking into, I think, 11th in the state career goals list, and she will actually join a couple of local players, local alums on that list as Ali Pavlik from Lakeview and Olivia Dressler from Garfield are both sitting at 137 on that OHSAA state list. So it would be 10th. That would break into the top 10 if she was able to get one more goal to make it to a 137, tied for 10th in the state career goals list of soccer.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. So we're going to take our second break of the day, and when we come back, we'll let you hear from Crestview senior soccer player Nick Novak. The Rebels are MVAC champions for the 5th straight time, as it was the first time without that great class that went through and graduated last year. So big accomplishment to them to prove that they were more than those seniors that were definitely very special and graduated. They went down, they completed the goal that those seniors had. They got the MVAC championship, and now they will be fighting for another district championship this year as they look to kind of continue the momentum that last year's soccer team had, making it all the way to the state championship game. So we'll have that for you when we come back from this break on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Clint. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring,
summer, and fall, Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. As promised before the break, we're going to let you hear from Crestview senior Nick Novak before we get out of here. So here is my conversation with Nick Novak earlier this week. I hope you enjoy it. Anthony Hartwig here with a Crestview soccer player profile. I am joined by Nick Novak. Nick, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
And, I think the first question we got to ask is, rewind back to the summer and maybe the weeks leading up to the season. I know a lot of people were questioning what this Crestview team was going to look like after the run they had last year and the seniors that you guys graduated, but haven't missed a beat at all. So what were some of the conversations heading into the season with you and your teammates to make sure that you celebrated the last year, but you also realized that, this was a different team and you guys could be just as good?
We knew we lost a lot of people. We don't have a very old class now at all. We just have me and a couple other seniors who start. So we knew it was going to be hard, and we also know that last year's run was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So we realized that we have to go in with realistic expectations this year. Know that we're not going to be as great as we were last year, but we have goals to we wanted to win a couple more games in the regular season, and then I think we're looking strong coming into playoffs now, and that's what we wanted to do. We knew we had young people, that we weren't going to be a perfect regular season, but we just wanted to make sure we were looking strong coming into playoffs.
Yeah, what were some of those other team goals that you guys set for yourselves coming into the season?
We wanted to win districts this year. That's been our goal from the beginning. So we found out we have to play either Wickliffe or South Range in district semifinals, and then probably Badger in district finals. And we think it's very doable. That's for sure.
All right. So what about some of your personal goals that you set for yourself coming into the season and things that you wanted to achieve before your senior season was over?
Well, this year I had some high goals for myself. I'm hoping to win All-American. I'm trying to win that Mr. Youngstown. And a big goal that I'm shooting for this year is Ohio Division III Player of the Year.
And you are well on your way to all those goals. You've put together an incredible season. What do you think has been working so well for you this year and has been clicking so well for you?
Well, I think I have a midfield fielder named Will Welch that we've been playing together since we were 10, and he's really helpful. He knows where I want the ball to be passed all the time. He knows what foot I like it on, and he really helps, especially now he's playing a center mid position. It really helps me out with all the success I have because he's really good.
And you talked earlier about wanting to win a district championship, and I'm sure one of the other goals of this team was to take care of the league, and you have that done. You got the MVAC crown again. What did that feel like to kind of solidify yourselves as still the top of the MVAC?
It's nice. It's always a good feeling. It's sort of, which isn't a good thing, but it's kind of expected from Crestview soccer to win the league. I think we won it 5 years in a row now, but it just shows that even though we lost a lot of older guys, we still have a good young core that can keep carrying on a successful program.
Yeah, this is the 5th year, which means the last 4 were all the 4 years of the seniors from last year.
Yeah.
So was there added pressure this year to try to keep that legacy alive and to keep that tradition alive?
I don't think there was extra pressure. I think it was the same thing. Everyone wanted to win the league. I think that there's just a little bit of pressure every game because like all season, every time we lost to a team this year or is close, the teams would comment, how did this team make a state finals? Or everyone's expecting us to be the top of the top. So there's a pressure in that way to still be good and still be competitive. But I don't think there was a excess amount of pressure for the league this year or anything.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the seniors from last year, and I think one of the big things you can say about them is the legacy that they leave after they leave the program. So what kind of standards did they set, and how much are you guys feeling the leadership that they had last year even this year in those standards that they set for everyone last season?
They just set a very successful program. Our program's been decent for a few years now, but that was only our second time winning a district championship in the 21 years that we've had a program, and to go that far, it really just set like what Crestview soccer could be and what it needs to be strived for every year. So they left a standard that needs to be followed, I think.
Who is one of the seniors, if you had to pick just one of them, and I know there was a lot of them, one of them that you kind of leaned on to teach you how to be a leader this year as your senior season?
Ryan Epps, probably. Ryan Epps was always that guy to keep everyone level-headed on the field. He was very smart. He knew what to do. He controlled the midfield. He did everything well and spoke well, so I think it has to be him.
When we talk to opposing coaches in any sport, whether we talk to a soccer coach in the MVAC, a volleyball coach, a football coach, doesn't matter. They always say they're amazed at the athletes in this school because every sport seems to have successful seasons. What's it like for you guys to walk the halls of Crestview and to look around and you see, well, they're a 2-loss team, they're an undefeated team, they're having a great year, What's that kind of like to be filled in a room filled with really good athletes in a school?
It's really cool. I like last year and this year and really all of high school, us and the volleyball team specifically always try to see who can have more wins in a season and less losses and stuff like that. And we really challenge each other to be better, I think, because everyone wants to be the top dog in the school, So I think it's fun, and it gives everyone something even more to push for and brag about a little bit.
I mean, last year, I think you guys got you guys further the tournament. They had more wins. I don't know what you kind of put the weight on. I'm sure soccer's are always arguing for win percentage because you play less games than they do in the regular season.
Yeah.
So what else is it like to kind of go and support other schools? I'm sure you support the football team on Friday nights. I'm sure you get to as many volleyball games as you can. What's it like to be a part of the student section and support other athletics in the school?
It's really fun. I just enjoy sports in general. So to go watch our classmates do well and have fun, I really enjoy it. I think especially like having a big student section and cheering them on and bringing energy to a good game, that's always really fun to do. So yeah, it's just a good experience, especially senior year, to have fun. I'm always at a sporting event like 5 days a week now watching other teams if I don't have games. It just makes your senior year a lot of fun.
Obviously, soccer is your favorite sport to play, but what's your favorite sport to watch and be a part of a student section for?
Probably volleyball, just because I enjoy watching football usually, but like volleyball always makes it like going to regionals and watching our volleyball team play and all that. That is really fun with how many people there are there and like around you in the student section and stuff. I think volleyball is really fun to watch.
We saw just how much this community got behind you guys last season, especially when you made a big tournament run. But everyone we talked to said that that's how it always is, and it just got shined on during the tournament run. So what's it like playing for this community and constantly feeling that support, not just when the team's going to a state championship game?
Well, I'm not even going to lie to you. That's not 100% true. It's definitely like football gets the most support by far. And students, we never had a student section at any soccer game till we started going far in the playoffs. But I truly believe that student section in the playoffs, at regional semis and on, helped us win a state semifinal game and a district finals game. Like that energy they brought to the game, the stuff they did, they helped us win. So that was really, really cool to see happen in the playoffs.
Soccer is a little bit different when you're in the stands because you're further away from the action. It's a bigger field and everyone's kind of running away from you. How much do you really hear the crowd when you're playing soccer?
And in those playoff games, it was so loud out there, like from our support. It was crazy. You could hear them all the way across the field. They had like air horns and stuff that they were blowing after you scored. The cheering they had, like what they were yelling at, like refs if there was a bad call, like everything about it in those games. You could hear everything, how loud they were, and it was crazy. It was really cool.
Since you're a senior, let's reflect a little bit on your whole career as a soccer player. What do you think is the one part of the game that you've grown in the most since your freshman year?
Probably shooting. I'd say I've definitely became a better shooter, a stronger leg, just because freshman year you're not developed all the way. But shooting and dribbling have definitely improved a lot for me.
Who is a coach or even maybe it was a player that kind of helped you the most to develop that skill?
I would say John Kincaid, our old coach that left last year. He really, but as a freshman and sophomore, did good drills, helped me out, told me what to do, and have really helped me grow as a player.
That's another, reason why what you guys are doing this year is so cool, because you have a new coach this year. Coaching carousel comes around again. What has it been like to kind of embrace the new culture and embrace a new philosophy and still find yourselves having success?
It's good. Our new coach was the John's assistant coach for 3 or 4 years, and they're not that much different. He brings a lot of new stuff which is good. But he didn't change everything so much that it feels like a different team. It feels like the same atmosphere, still very fun, does similar drills, and then adds what he thinks is good. It's just how he has his own coach. But he really came along and built this team. We didn't build it up, but kept it going in a positive direction for sure. So it's been really cool to see.
And every soccer team and coach that we talk about how tough it is to build up the youth of soccer, because a lot of schools, don't have a middle school program yet. And if they do, it's this kind of a club. So what kind of things do you think Crestview Soccer does and you guys do as a varsity level team to try to pour into the future of Crestview Soccer and try to bring the young kids along the best you can?
We just have been starting it last year, actually. We have a lot of club teams for our youth at Crestview now, and our freshmen and sophomore kids are really starting to get into clubs, so that we're kind of pushing for that, so they're playing all year round. Everyone's getting touches, and if you play club all year round, like the bigger schools like Canfield and Poland have, you start to see a lot of success and growth in every player, and that's just how you keep a strong program. You won't have a down year as long as everyone's really buying into that.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot because you've played against a lot of really good soccer players. Who do you think is the toughest person that you've had to go up against?
That's tough. I think around here, the toughest player I've ever had to go against was Vasily Hentis. He's on my club team. He goes to Howland. He's really good. And then, but all time, I think in the state finals, the two center backs that Grandview Heights had were really good center backs. They were very athletic. They did everything right. I think they were probably the two toughest people I've had to play against.
All right, Nick, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to shout out your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout the years and continue to support you this season.
My parents specifically, they've been driving me around since I was 7 years old to play club, to play everything. They've watched over 1,000 of my soccer games. They're the first people to support me in every way. So my parents are a big one. And just the teams I've played for, but specifically Crestview, I couldn't have had any assists or goals or anything without the players I've played with, especially Ryan Carter and Mitch Auer and Will Welch have been my favorite people to play with in high school, and they just have been made my soccer career awesome.
All right, Nick, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us the insight into Crestview Soccer this year. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season and in your tournament run, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Nick Novak from Crestview, a senior leader as promised, and that will wrap up our episode of Running Point today. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3. Power Hour has you kicked in from 3 to 4, and Rich Wright from Southern Local will be on that show, and can't wait to hear from him. Great Coach's Corner in store for you there. And then we'll have a bunch of games on the network tonight. Head over to ysnlive.com/live to hear to get all the games that are going to be coming at you completely free, thanks to our wonderful sponsors. So once again, that'll do it for Running Point. Thank you so much for tuning in.